Get ready to discover that fate is not an unbreakable sentence, but a choice that can be challenged even by one born marked as a demon. The story of a boy cursed to die on his 3rd birthday shows that true rebellion is not in fighting against the heavens, but in fighting to define who you really are, even when the entire world only awaits your destruction. Hey clickers, subscribe with the bell activated, comment with the content you want to see on the channel, share this video to help us grow, and leave your hype. It helps us a lot. The journey of why Nezha is a rebel against fate begins long before his birth, with a celestial artifact known as the Chaos Pearl. This artifact, created from the essence of primordial chaos itself, was divided by order of the celestial sovereign Yanshi Tianzun into 2 opposing halves: the Spirit Pearl, which carried pure and benevolent energy, and the Demon Orb, which housed destruction and calamity. The original plan was for the Spirit Pearl to be reincarnated as the 3rd son of General Li Jing, a respected commander of Chentong Pass. This child was destined to become a legendary hero. However, envy changed the course of history. The immortal Shen Gongbao, resentful and with a desire to prove his worth, sabotages the reincarnation ritual and inverts the process. Instead of the Spirit Pearl, it is the Demon Orb that fertilizes the womb of Lady Yin, Li Jing's wife. Thus, what should have been born a savior is born as a cursed boy, bearer of an uncontrollable demonic energy. The sentence on his life is immediate. A prophecy decrees that on his 3rd birthday, he would be annihilated by a celestial lightning bolt before he could bring calamity to the world. This burden, imposed by the heavens, becomes the central point of his rebellion. From an early age, Nezha is not seen as a child, but as a living omen of destruction. The villagers of Chentong Pass fear him, isolate him, and treat him like a monster, reinforcing the shadow that hangs over him. His initial rebellion is born as a response to this contempt. He becomes mischievous, rebellious, and even violent because he believes he is only what everyone says he is, a demon in human form. Nezha's struggle is not just against a celestial prophecy, but against the daily prejudice that shapes and tries to imprison him. Still, his parents, Li Jing and Lady Yin, continue to see more in him than a curse. With unconditional love, they try to protect him, hiding the cruel truth about his destiny from him. It is in this context that the figure of his master, the immortal Taiyi Zhenren, emerges, tasked with guiding him and perhaps teaching him to channel his powers for good. But the real turning point comes with the encounter between Nezha and Al Bing. Al Bing is the incarnation of the Spirit Pearl, Nezha's celestial counterpart. He represents everything Nezha should have been: serene, virtuous, and laden with expectations of nobility. However, Al Bing is also a prisoner of his own destiny. As the heir to the Dragon Clan, he carries the weight of centuries of humiliation and enslavement imposed by the heavens. The friendship that blossoms between them is a clash of fates, one marked as a demon, the other as a savior. But as they recognize each other beyond the masks the world has imposed on them, they discover something essential. They are both more than the burden they carry. For the first time, Nezha finds someone who doesn't judge him, and in this bond, he begins to transform his blind rebellion into a conscious one. He no longer wishes to just break expectations out of anger. Now he wants to choose his own path. The climax of his revolt happens on his 3rd birthday. Shen Gongbao manipulates the situation, exposes Nezha's demonic origin to the villagers, and places Al Bing before an impossible choice: save his friend or follow his duty to his clan. Amidst the chaos, when everyone expects Nezha to finally become the monster of the prophecy, he makes the most unexpected decision: to fight to protect those who rejected him his entire life. His declaration of independence is striking. His life belongs to him, not to the heavens. He refuses to be a puppet on the gods' game board. His fight is not to escape death, but to give meaning to his existence. Nezha chooses to be a hero not because he was destined for it, but precisely because he was not. In the end, Nezha and Al Bing join forces. The Demon Orb and the Spirit Pearl, 2 antagonistic energies, merge not to destroy but to resist. Together, they face the celestial lightning, not to deny the punishment, but to prove that fate is not an absolute sentence. Their bodies do not survive, but their spirits transcend, breaking the cycle of hatred and prejudice. This victory redefines not only their individual destinies, but also the very concept of destiny in mythology. Nezha's rebellion, therefore, is not about defeating the gods, but about winning the right to choose who he wants to be. His journey teaches us that it is not birth that determines who we are, but the choices we make in the face of adversity. So, what did you think of the journey of why Nezha is a rebel against fate? This story shows that it doesn't matter where we come from, but rather how we decide to live the time we are given. Do you believe we are shaped by our birth or by our choices? Leave your opinion in the comments. We really want to know what you think. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this analysis, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content. Thanks!
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards